Ready, folks? Don't let you guys clinch the championship, the tournaments, or right. What do you guys want to get done in these last 2 games?
I think we need to get better. You know, I don't think that the narrative has switched at all for us. I think with Coach Cal, with what he told the team even before the game on Saturday is every game, whether it's in March, whether it's in November, even playing Evansville, you try to get better each time you step out on the court. And I don't think that changes, this week. I don't think it changes when we head to Nashville for 1, 2, 3 games. Our goal is to get better, for individuals to get better, and for our team to ultimately become better.
How so? Where would you like to see the improvement?
Well, I think if your individuals improve, your team improves. We've talked about Ashton being more consistent, taking care of the ball. He had a good game Saturday. Obviously, he would have wanted to see a couple more shots go down, but he was close on some, didn't really take bad shots, just shots didn't fall, but he made an impact. On the defensive end, he got our team into offense. You look at a guy like Emmanuel Quickly to continue to play better as a guy who can, play with having the burden of being the leading scorer, to play with having the burden of being a guy that teams are going to aim to shut down. You want consistency out for your bench, with Johnny, with Nate, with Keon. It's another opportunity for them to improve and gain confidence as we head into the tournament in Nashville, and then ultimately the tournament for what will hopefully be 3 weekends.
With Nate's senior day, what's your best Nate Sestina story? He's obviously a little different one-and-done type of guy for you guys to come in here as kind of an adult.
Yeah, no, I mean, Nate has given us tremendous leadership, being that guy that is older, that is more mature most of the time. Nate has a spirit about him that he's enjoyed his time here. I like, 22-year-old Nate. There's times that he slips back into 13-year-old Nate, and it does bring a certain kind of laugh and spirit to our team that even last year, while Reed was that leader, Reed was very serious. Nate, while he is serious, he is able to relate to this group, and it's a laughing, jovial group. I don't know that I have one great story that sticks out, but it's senior day for 3 managers of ours as well. Kevin, Barrett, and Will. And when you're putting together a program and you have a team each year, those guys are just as important, as the guys that play. And a guy like Nate Sistina, and the way that our guys get better is in that gym. And oftentimes the guys in the gym, more than our coaches, are those managers. And it's a big day for those 3 guys, and it's an important day for our entire kind of program to have those guys be recognized, because there's a lot of man hours that have been put in, by Kevin, Barrett, and Will, and it's a big loss for us, but we're happy for them, and it's a fun day that we should celebrate.
What's the 13-year-old Nate like?
I think he's the one that laughs. I think he tells bad jokes and laughs at even worse jokes that are told by the other guys on the team. But it's a group that really came together over Christmas, and kind of the Camp Cal days have changed with some new rules from the NCAA. But what we were able to do was feed them, and I think this group really came together over meals. And it's amazing, I think, when you look at it, from our perspective, what meals can do for teams, what meals can do for families, and that has never been more obvious with this team, and how they came together after, I think we all would say, was a rough, Las Vegas trip. There was a lot of individuals that were questioned. Our team was questioned, and this group came back, got to work after a 3-4 day kind of vacation, and really came together. And I think you look at that now as at the beginning of March as a major point of our season.
How much better has Emmanuel gotten over the past month or so? Just how much seems like he's gotten tremendously better?
Well, I think it's confidence. You know, his confidence is sky high, and that comes from work. You know, that comes from playing well in one game, playing well in two games, and I think, as we just talked about, you know, you still have 2 more games to play in the regular season. That's just another way to build your confidence. You know, as you're riding that wave into Nashville, then ultimately, like I said, 3 weekends in March to April. But every time you step on the court, it's a chance for you to build your confidence. But it's something that we talk about with our guys here, is every time you step on that court, you're being evaluated. And if you want to be a professional and you truly want to take this to another level, you have to show up every day, whether it's practice, whether it's games, whether it's a workout. And by and large, our guys do that. So I don't think there's any fear that there's any steps that are going to be backwards for this group. I think it's another opportunity for us to make strides moving forward.
Joel, you've already secured the #1 seed for the conference. I know you're looking at NCAA seeding also, but does the coaching staff talk about maybe throttling back? You've had guys with injuries. Ashton's been beat up.
I mean, there's always conversation back and forth, but I don't think that that's any different than, it's not because we've won. I think it's what's in the best interest of the individuals. You know, we've talked about that. You know, I mean, everybody at this time of year is banged up, but there's no, because of winning on Saturday now, we can sit guys or we can play guys more, or because it doesn't matter. We're trying to, like I said, gain momentum for individuals, gain momentum, you know, as a unit versus worried about seeding, we're worried about anything else. If guys need to sit because they're injured, obviously we'll sit them.
Is Nate a guy that came in here sort of with almost a purpose to enjoy and take in all of what this experience is? Because he obviously came here wanting to experience big-time college basketball. It seems like he's a guy who's taking some extra beats to look around and take it all.
No, I mean, I think Nate it's a place that you can get whatever you want out of it. You know, I think that people talk about the University of Kentucky men's basketball program as just what they see on the floor at Rupp Arena, or just what they see on social media, or just what they hear about from us or from you all. You know, there's a lot that goes on that our kids are a part of. I mean, you see that they went out and took part in Dance Blue yesterday. They wanted to do that. You know, that wasn't something that our staff directed them to do. You know, our guys have been front row, you know, at Kroger Field cheering on the football team. They've gone to soccer games. They've been to, you know, other events here on campus. And this is a great place to go to college. You know, it's a great place to experience, you know, what would be the best time of most of our lives. And these guys are taking advantage of that. They're afforded that here. It's a great place to learn. It's a great place to work. It's a great place to play. And our guys, not just Nate, take advantage of all that.
This weekend, the College Players Association sent out a letter asking the NCAA to maybe hold March Madness games without fans in attendance in light of the coronavirus. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, for us, I think we're going to show up and play. You know, I think you've seen our guys show up, whether there's 20,000 fans or whether there's no fans. Our guys are going to be there, and they'll be excited to play. And you know, whatever happens, happens. I think for us, our goal is to get better today in practice. I think our goal is to get better tomorrow in the Tennessee game, and ultimately head down to Gainesville and become a group that is taking steps to becoming our best version and their best version.
I think a couple opposing coaches now have mentioned being able to hear Nate's voice calling out stuff on defense. I think Bill Wade was one of them. What about the way he's sort of directed these guys that you've seen? Just
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to the same thing of confidence. You know, you gain confidence by putting in work. You gain confidence by listening to coaching staff, Coach Cal. So you're confident in speaking what you know. And I think Nate's a guy that's locked in when we're doing film study. He's a guy that's locked in when you're doing walkthroughs, any type of scripting on offense, to where he knows what is heading his way. And really, he's just like the rest of the guys. He's only been here for a couple months. But I think it speaks to his 22-year-old side, the maturity side of where he knows that that's important. And that's important towards winning. And when you've been a college basketball player and won, you understand how important all the small things are. And he's a guy that does embrace that and then has tried to push that to our younger guys as often as he could.
Is that a thing he brought to the team even when he wasn't playing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was something from day one. I think whether you're in the weight room, whether you're on the track, it's the little things that at this time of year you've got to be tight on.
Yeah, that was kind of my question. I mean, I heard past years, Coach Cal, you guys say we want the team to talk more, communicate more on the floor. There didn't seem to be a problem with Nate from day one. You all talked about that. Did that get the other guys to talk more on the floor? You all haven't talked about that as much. It doesn't seem like this year getting them to communicate on the floor.
Yeah, I think that, you do have some other guys that talk, and I think that Nate doing it has empowered Emmanuel to do it, has empowered Ashton to do it, and now EJ and Nick, the older guys have done it and have been consistently making strides to talk more. And that's what you want. Coach has talked about being a player-driven team. And I think whenever we were on that, about a month ago, our guys took another step forward. And when you have that, now you got a chance. When it truly is player-driven, you have a chance to do something special. And we've gone on the road and won in tough environments. We've won big games, close games. So I think for us, Nate kind of got that rolling early and empowered the other guys to see what embracing the little things and communicating really was day to day.
Has the overall age of this team made it feel different? I mean, this is by you all standards a really old group, especially your starting five.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's important. I think the guys know, what winning feels like, what losing feels like. And that's obviously something that the only way you figure out what that feels like is to go through it. Nate's a guy that has won big games, has been a part of big games, and then he brings that to the table in September, October, November, when these other guys are still looking around to not only see what it feels like, but also then experience it. And that's a big thing.
Anything else, guys? All right, we'll have Nate out in just a second.
Making them look nervous. Ready to rock?
No swear words.
All right, guys, open up questions for Nate.
Was that a surprise to you that they're here this early?
Yeah, they texted me and said they had landed like 30 minutes ago, and they just got Uber downloaded on their phone. So I was not expecting them to be here before practice. I was expecting a 3 p.m. arrival, but no, it was a little bit of a surprise, and I haven't seen them in a long time, so put a big smile on my face.
You have to kind of watch what you say when your parents are looking over your shoulder.
Not so much my dad, but when my mom's around, absolutely. No swear words. Got to watch what I say. Make sure I represent us well.
How quick has this gone for you?
I was talking to, I think it was Keon and Johnny yesterday. Like, I remember moving in June, wide-eyed, like, ready to get this thing going. Ready to get this thing going, and summer went really, really fast. We've got a little bit of break in August, and then coach was like, it's going to be February before you know it. And, like, it's March now. It has just flown by. But it's been unreal.
How does it seem to you, just the experience?
Something that I couldn't have asked for. It's everything that you wanted to happen for you, to play basketball at a high level, to play for a coach like Coach Cal, to have the teammates that I have, and to have the fans that we have, and the support. It's been everything to me. It's been everything for my family. They're always texting me after games and tell me that everybody in Emporium's texting them, cheering us on. So it's been everything for me.
Nate, you've obviously played in the tournament before. How does it feel differently this year, being a favorite going into that as opposed to an underdog like you've done now?
I haven't really thought about that much, but kind of more recently looking at everything and kind of getting an idea of how things are going to shape up. It's crazy because, like, I would have never thought about that. I mean, when you want to win your conference championship to get into the tournament, and we want to do the same thing here, but to know that you're going to make it, and to know that you're going to have a good seat, and everybody's going to travel with you, you're going to have a bunch of fans there instead of a little section of the gym being orange and blue. But it's a little bit different, but I haven't really thought about it too much.
Have you talked to your former teammates about what you're going through? They have to be living through this experience with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to Walter Ellis a lot, and his dad's obviously works for College Game Day, Alfonso Ellis, so I talk with him too. But with Walt, it's just he's asking us like what it's like with practices at this time of the year, because they're a lot different than what we had been going through at Bucknell. Because like I said, you have to win those conference championship games, or those conference championship to get to the NCAA tournament. But they're loving it. They texted me when I scored 1,000 points. They were cheering me on. All my coaches had texted me and just to congratulate me and say it's awesome to see you succeed. And it's been great. And it really is a family. As soon as you leave, like you don't just leave and they forget about you.
Nate, the coaches always talk about players should have that leash to move on, but you're so conscientious. I get the idea that it's not an easy thing for you to do if things aren't going well.
Yeah.
To move to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a perfectionist, or at least I try to be. So you want to play perfectly all the time. You want to play great, and if you don't, sometimes that stuff lingers on your mind. And for me, I try to correct that mistake or do something to get us the ball back. Like I missed 2 free throws the other day, which I hate because I shoot free throws all the time in practice and after practice. But with a play like that, and you miss it, you try to get the ball back, and it does linger on your mind a little bit. But that book that I had talked about really helps me out mentally to just forget about it and try to move forward as fast as possible.
Did you come here with a kind of deliberate plan to make sure you stopped yourself a few times over the course of this few months and soaked in what this experience is, because it would go by fast?
Absolutely. I mean, when I first got here and just trying to get healthy and all the lifts and stuff, I just really soaked in the time that I was able to have with Rob and the trainers that we had in the summer, and just appreciate that time. And then Madison Square Garden, obviously I had never played there, and to have first game as a graduate student there against Michigan State was huge, and have my family there as well. The Ohio State game, my brother was able to make it from California, and then to have the Louisville game, my parents were there again. And just different games throughout the season. Then to score 1,000 points in college for me is always something that I'd always dreamt about as a little kid. And to do that wearing this uniform just means a lot to me. And then now moving into my final home game here, it's a little surreal, but definitely going to soak in the experience, soak in the time with my family while they're here, and then go into Saturday's game. But just I'm trying to do it. It's hard because like everything just happens and it's gone. But I've been reflecting a lot, and a lot of great memories have been popping up.
How long did it take you to adjust to the crowd? When you were playing, something great happens and 20,000 is on top of it.
I mean, I think after Big Blue Madness, it was a little bit like it kind of hit me, but I don't really pay attention to it. I say it all the time. Like when I'm playing, I don't really listen to it, but I could always I mean this. I'm whistle. Like at Bucknell games, the crowd would be crazy and something would happen, or I would do something and I would react, and she would whistle. I could hear it, but like I never hear people. I listen to the coaches and my teammates, but like other than that, I don't really pay attention to it. But I could always hear her whistle and my sister, so I try not to think about the crowd too much. But Rupp was crazy on Saturday. That was a time where I think Emmanuel hit that three at the end when like the transition, he stole and hit that three, and the crowd was crazy. I think that was the first time where I kind of like, because I wasn't in the game at the time, but I like soaked it in that like it was ridiculously loud in there.
What prompts your mom's whistle? Was she like saying, "Way to go"?
No. It's most of the time she's proud of me, but it's probably language or body language. If I miss a free throw, she whistles at me. But other than that, nothing too good.
Nate, did you go through a senior day ceremony at Bucknell last year?
I did, yeah.
What are the emotions like? How does that compare?
I think because I didn't plan on transferring until after the season, so I didn't think that I was going to leave. And my brother surprised me. I hadn't seen him in 2 years, so he surprised me, and it really threw me off. I was like 1 for 7 to start the game. I think my first shot like hit the shot clock, but it's a little bit different because like I know now like this is my last. This is my last one, and I love college basketball, and if I had another year, I would stay for sure because it's just something that I have like come to love and appreciate. But it's starting to hit me a little bit that like this is my last time doing it, but I can't think about it too much because I don't want to let that affect how I play. But I have been thinking about it, yeah.
If one day one of us writes a book about this season, what do you hope the chapter about you says that you were to this team?
A great teammate, a great leader, somebody who brought smiles to everybody's faces outside of basketball, a resource outside of the gym, and inside. Like when we're practicing, somebody that guys can lean on, guys can trust, but mostly just somebody you can rely on and off the court, because that's something that I try to do everywhere I go, and just have a relationship with everybody. I want them to feel that they have the same relationship that I feel like I have with them, with me, and just somebody that they could, 10 years from now, they could hit me up if I'm in anywhere near their city, and we can go and get dinner, and it's never going to be an issue. Because like that's what I had with my teammates at Bucknell, and I know that I'm going to have that with these guys because they're the same people. It's the same kind of kids, come from good families, guys who want to win, guys who want to build these relationships outside of just practice and outside of just basketball. What's that?
What do you hope to be doing a year from now?
Playing professionally, wherever that is. It's been a dream of mine too to be a professional basketball player and to make money playing the game I love and not have to go to school doing it too, and just building something for myself later on down the road, establishing myself, and hopefully I can play for as long as my body allows me to, and then retire and live it up.
What surprised you? What were you not expecting out of this experience?
Breaking my wrist, obviously. No, I would say just like, I know there's gonna be ups and downs throughout the season, and I think the thing that surprised me the most was how like receptive and how much, I don't know how to say it, like how much my teammates helped me out when I was going through that little slump. Every day, Emmanuel was always talking to me about keeping my head up and just keep fighting and keep working. And it's a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see, they don't know about because they're not in the locker room with you or they're not in the gym with you late at night. But to come into the gym late at night when you're going through something mentally and you're going through something when you're not playing well, and to have a teammate like that, obviously he's playing his butt off, but to have a teammate like that tell you that he believes in you, and then have coaching staff like we have here, say that they still believe in you, that everything's going to come around, it just means a lot.
Did you sort of think in a program like this, full of McDonald's All-Americans, that if you go down, they just step over you and keep going, and that surprised you in that?
I think, I don't know if it's that as much as it's just they're also trying to do what I'm trying to do. And I think like with them, they I don't know if it was dragging them down or anything, but they're chasing after something too. And I didn't think that me going through that slump would affect anybody, but I couldn't let that affect my energy, and I did at times. And our coaching staff got on me about it. My teammates had gone on me about it, about not being the same guy energy-wise. And I think that's something that I wasn't expecting for them to just be like, hey, like, don't let this affect how you play. Don't let this affect your energy, because whether you're on the court or off the court, like, your energy feeds into what we're trying to do.
Couple more guys.
Do you have a favorite moment this year at home?
Ooh. I'm not sure. The Louisville game was crazy. That was something that I had been really looking forward to, hearing about the rivalry and how people were lined up hours before the game outside of rep. I'm trying to think. Maybe letting my brother Andrew be in here and him seeing it, because he had been to Bucknell games. There's only 5,000 or 6,000 people there, and for him to be here and watch a game where there's 20,000 people meant a lot to me, because he got to see our workouts and our practices and everything leading up to a game, and that's something that he and I had always talked about, and for him to be here and to see that really meant a lot for me.
Over the weekend, the College Players Association released a statement saying it said we might want to look into not having fans in attendance for March Madness with coronavirus. What would it mean as a player to play in a game where nobody's in the stands?
I think it would be pretty similar to practice. I mean, we have people in practice, but like not having people in the stands. Like I said, I try not to feed into the crowd or any of the noise or anything like that. But I don't know, just empty gym. That's how I try to think when I'm playing too. Is just play with an empty gym, shoot with an empty gym. So I don't know if it would affect me too much, because I guess I try not to feed into it. But
All right, guys, I gotta get in practice. Thanks.
no problem.